First contact. Captain Elena Reyes stood at the helm of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon Dawn, her dark eyes fixed on the massive alien warship that had just emerged from hyperspace. The vessel's sleek, metallic hull seemed to absorb the distant starlight, its design unlike anything humanity had encountered in their brief ventures into deep space. Analysis complete, Captain, Lieutenant Maya Chen reported from her station, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. The ship's hull composition is unlike anything in our database. Energy readings are off the charts. Elena nodded, maintaining her composure despite the gravity of the situation. As humanity's first deep space exploration mission beyond the Sol system's immediate neighbors, they had expected to encounter alien life. But not like this. Not a warship that dwarfed their most advanced vessel. Multiple energy signatures detected, Maya continued, her voice tense. They're scanning us. Before Elena could respond, the ship's AI, Aria, announced, Captain, they're attempting to establish communication. Accept the transmission, Elena ordered, straightening her uniform. The bridge's main viewscreen flickered to life, revealing a sight that made even the veteran captain pause. The alien commander's skin was metallic, reflecting the harsh bridge lighting of their vessel. Their form was humanoid but distinctly alien, larger, more robust, with what appeared to be natural armor plating covering their body. This was Commander Crix of the Iconian warship Stellar Aegis. Unknown vessel, Crix's voice resonated through the bridge, speaking perfect Galactic standard, a language humanity had only recently begun to learn. You have entered restricted space. Prepare for immediate boarding and biological assessment. Elena's tactical training kicked in. The Horizon Dawn was equipped with humanity's most advanced defensive systems, but engaging in combat with an unknown species was the last thing she wanted. Commander, I am Captain Elena Reyes of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon Dawn. We come in peace and seek diplomatic relations. The Iconian commander's expression shifted, displaying what might have been surprise. Earth? We have no record of your species in our database. We are relatively new to interstellar travel, Elena explained, choosing her words carefully. But we are eager to establish peaceful contact with other civilizations. Crix's metallic features hardened. Your vessel's environmental readings, impossible. No lesser species could survive such conditions. Elena realized what was happening. The Horizon Dawn maintained Earth-standard gravity in atmosphere, conditions that would be lethal to most known alien species. The Iconians, it seemed, shared humanity's hardy nature. Commander, Elena said, perhaps we have more in common than you think. Our species evolved on what you might call a death world, high gravity, extreme temperatures, and what others would consider a toxic atmosphere. The bridge of the Stellar Aegis fell silent. Elena could see other Iconians in the background, their movements stiff with what she interpreted as shock. Commander Crix leaned forward, their metallic skin catching the light. Prove it, Crix demanded. Accept boarding. If you truly are, like us, we have much to discuss. Elena glanced at her crew. Maya's hand hovered over the defensive controls, while Security Chief Marcus Wong stood ready at his station. The decision would change the course of human history. Agreed, Elena said. But under one condition, we maintain diplomatic protocols. This is a peaceful meeting between two spacefaring nations. Commander Crix's response was cut short by urgent alerts blaring through both ships. A new vessel had appeared, massive, ancient, and definitely not Iconian. Unknown vessel detected, Aria announced. Design matches no known configuration. Energy signatures are incomprehensible. The ancient ship's surface seemed to ripple, like liquid metal catching starlight. Both the Horizon Dawn and the Stellar Aegis found their systems suddenly locked, held in place by technology beyond their understanding. A new voice echoed through both ships, speaking in a language that somehow translated itself in real time. The experiment continues. Two Death World species meet at last. Now, prove your worth. Elena and Commander Crix locked eyes through their view screens, both realizing that their first contact had just become something far more complex. The ancient ship's presence suggested that their meeting was no accident, and that both humanity and the Iconians were part of something much larger than their own civilizations. Continued in Part 2. Part 2, Trial by Fire. The ancient vessel's grip on both ships tightened, its surface continuing to shift and flow like mercury under starlight. Captain Elena Reyes and Commander Crix maintained their video link, both leaders quickly recognizing the need for cooperation. "Our systems are completely locked down," Maya reported, her fingers flying over now unresponsive controls. "Whatever technology they're using, it's beyond our ability to counter." On the Stellar Aegis, Crix's crew reported similar findings. The Iconian commander's metallic features set in a grim expression. "Captain Reyes, it seems we face a common situation. My tactical officer, Vex, reports that this vessel matches ancient legends of the precursors, a species said to have seeded our galaxy with life eons ago." The mysterious voice spoke again, its words materializing directly in their minds. "Your species were chosen. Evolved. Shaped by the crucibles of your worlds. Now, face the trial together, or perish alone." A blinding light engulfed both bridges. When it faded, Elena found herself standing in what appeared to be an enormous arena, surrounded by towering walls that seemed to be made of the same flowing material as the ancient ship. Beside her stood Commander Crix, their metallic skin reflecting the strange, sourceless light that filled the space. They weren't alone. Around them stood members of both crews, Maya, Marcus, and several others from the Horizon Dawn, along with Vex and a handful of Iconians. All were still armed and equipped as they had been on their ships. "Captain," Maya called out, her handheld scanner active, "these readings, they're impossible. The environment here is shifting, changing moment by moment." Before Elena could respond, the arena began to transform. The flowing walls solidified into various terrains, some resembling Earth's most extreme environments, others clearly alien. Gravity shifted unpredictably, while the atmosphere itself seemed to cycle through different compositions. "A test," Crix stated, their voice carrying the weight of realization. "They want to see how we handle extreme conditions, together." The first challenge manifested immediately. The ground beneath their feet began to heat rapidly, while the air pressure increased to crushing levels. Elena's environmental suit automatically adjusted, while the Iconian's natural armor seemed to adapt to the conditions. "Form up," Elena ordered, her military training kicking in. "Maya, Marcus, establish a perimeter. Commander Crix, I suggest we combine our forces." The Iconian commander nodded sharply. "Agreed. Vex, coordinate with their security team. We need to dash." A screech cut through the air, followed by the sound of rending metal. From newly formed crevices emerged creatures that seemed designed for this hellish environment, part machine, part organic, and completely lethal. "Defensive positions," both leaders shouted simultaneously, their crews moving with practiced efficiency despite their alien differences. What followed was a demonstration of why both species had survived their respective death worlds. The humans' advanced technology and tactical adaptability complemented the Iconians' natural strength and resilience. Maya's quick analysis of the creature's weak points allowed Marcus and Vex to coordinate devastating attacks, while Elena and Crix maintained strategic control of their combined forces. As they fought, the arena continued to change. Gravity would suddenly reverse, sending them flying toward a ceiling that had become a floor. The atmosphere would switch from super-dense to near vacuum in seconds. Temperatures swung between extremes that would have instantly killed most other species. Through it all, humans and Iconians adapted. They learned to anticipate each other's movements, to compensate for their different strengths and weaknesses. When an Iconian's natural armor provided perfect cover for a human sharpshooter, or a human's environmental suit sensors warned an Iconian of an approaching threat, the two species began to understand the potential of their cooperation. Hours passed, each challenge more demanding than the last. The mysterious voice occasionally commented, its tone neither approving nor condemning, simply observing. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of combat and survival, the voice spoke again. Phase 1 complete. The trial continues, elsewhere. The arena dissolved around them, replaced by the familiar surroundings of their respective bridges. But something had changed. Both ship sensors now detected a massive spatial anomaly directly ahead, a swirling vortex of energy that defied their understanding of physics. All systems are back online, Maya reported, though her voice carried a note of uncertainty. The ancient vessel, it's gone. Commander Crix's image appeared on the view screen, their expression thoughtful. Captain Reyes, our sensors indicate that this anomaly leads to somewhere else. Somewhere far beyond known space. Elena studied the swirling vortex, understanding the implicit question. Their ships were free now, they could retreat, return to their respective territories, and process what had happened. Or they could proceed together into the unknown, facing whatever trials awaited them. Commander, Elena said, a slight smile crossing her face, I believe we've already proven that we work better together. Shall we see what other challenges the universe has in store for us? Crix's metallic features shifted in what Elena now recognized as their version of a smile. Indeed, Captain. Together then. Into the unknown. As both ships moved toward the anomaly, their crews prepared for whatever lay ahead. The first trial had forced them to overcome their differences and prejudices. The next would test their newfound alliance in ways neither species could imagine. Continued in Part 3. Part 3, Beyond the Veil. The passage through the anomaly felt like eternity compressed into seconds. When reality reasserted itself, both ships found themselves in a region of space unlike anything in their charts. Multiple suns of impossible colors illuminated a vast debris field, the remnants of what appeared to be ancient battleships and space stations. Position unknown, Maya announced, her voice steady despite the situation. These stars don't match any known configurations. We're somewhere else entirely. The debris field told a story of devastating conflict. Massive hull fragments bore weapon scars from technology far beyond current understanding. Some pieces seemed to be made of materials that shouldn't exist, their surfaces still gleaming after what must have been millennia of exposure to space. Captain, Commander Crix's voice carried a note of awe, our historians speak of a great war that occurred before our species achieved spaceflight. A conflict between the precursors and something else. Something that came from beyond the galaxy's edge. Elena studied the tactical display, noting how some of the debris seemed to move in patterns that defied normal physics. Then perhaps this is where that war reached its climax. Maya, can you dash? Her words were cut short by a massive energy surge. From within the debris field emerged structures that had been hidden, disguised as destroyed vessels. They were stations, massive, geometric shapes that pulsed with internal light. The mysterious voice returned, but different now, multiple voices speaking in harmony, you have reached the archive. Here, the truth of your origins awaits. But knowledge must be earned, and some truths are defended by more than mere trials. Suddenly, smaller objects detached from the stations, autonomous drones that moved with impossible precision. They approached both ships, their purpose unclear until Maya's urgent cry, they're scanning us. These readings, they're similar to medical scans, but far more detailed. They're analyzing our genetic structure. The drones completed their scan and retreated. There was a moment of tense silence before the voices spoke again, confirmation complete. Both species carry the markers. You were not accidents of evolution. You were designed, weapons created to fight in a war your kinds have forgotten. The revelation hit both crews hard. Elena and Crix shared a look through their video link, both leaders processing the implications. Their species' remarkable survival abilities, their similar adaptations to extreme conditions, it hadn't been convergent evolution, but deliberate design. Why tell us this now? Crix demanded, their metallic skin shifting with emotion. Why reveal our true origins? Because the enemy returns, the voices answered. The void between galaxies stirs once more. The weapons we created must be awakened, or all will be lost. As if in response to these words, the debris field came alive with energy. Holographic displays appeared around both ships, showing scenes from the ancient war. They witnessed massive fleets engaging creatures that seemed to exist partially outside of normal spacetime, their forms hurting the mind to observe. These beings, Elena said, studying the images, they're coming back. And you expect our species to fight them? Not as you are now, the voices replied. You have proven your worth in cooperation. Now you must prove worthy of ascension. The stations you see before you contain technology your ancestors once wielded, tools that can awaken dormant potential within your genetic code. Maya's console suddenly lit up with new data. Captain, I'm receiving technical specifications. This technology, it's incredible. It could advance our understanding of genetics and physics by centuries, maybe millennia. Similar information flowed to the Stellar Aegis. Vex's voice carried barely contained excitement as they reported to Crix, Commander, these specifications match fragments of ancient text found in our most sacred ruins. The legends of our species, apotheosis, they were real. But Elena and Crix both recognized the weight of this moment. Accepting this gift meant acknowledging their species' artificial origins. It meant preparing their people for war against an enemy that existed beyond normal understanding. It meant changing what it meant to be human or Iconian. We need time, Elena said finally. To discuss this with our governments, to prepare our people for the truth. Time is not a luxury the galaxy possesses, the voices responded. But we understand. You will have one planetary rotation to decide. Choose wisely. The future of all life depends on your decision. As the voices fell silent, Elena and Crix maintained their video link, both leaders understanding that their next choice would reshape the destiny of both their species. The debris field continued its eternal dance around them, a grim reminder of the war that awaited. Awakening. The planetary rotation passed swiftly as both crews worked to analyze the vast amount of data provided by the archive. Maya and Vex collaborated remotely, their combined expertise allowing them to begin understanding the complex genetics and technology that had shaped their species. It's beautiful, Maya breathed, studying a holographic display of the modified genetic structures. Our adaptability, our resilience, they're not just traits, they're gateways. The potential locked within our DNA, it's staggering. On the Stellar Aegis, Vex made a similar discovery about Iconian biology. Their metallic skin, once thought to be natural armor, was actually a dormant transformation system capable of adapting to virtually any environment or threat. As the deadline approached, Elena and Crix met via hologram in a shared virtual space created by their ship's computers. The technology allowed them to appear to walk together through a neutral environment while discussing their species' future. My government's response was mixed, Elena admitted. The revelation of our engineered origins challenges many fundamental beliefs. But the evidence is undeniable, and the threat is too great to ignore. Crix nodded, their metallic skin rippling with conviction. The Iconian High Command reached a similar conclusion. We have always known we were different from other species. Now we know why. The question remains, do we accept this ascension? Before Elena could respond, the archive stations pulsed with energy. The voices returned, but now they seemed more urgent. Your time for discussion ends. The void stirs. Make your choice. Elena and Crix shared a look that transcended their biological differences. Both had witnessed their crews working together, combining their strengths, pushing the boundaries of what their species could achieve. Both understood that evolution, natural or engineered, was about adaptation and survival. "We accept," they said in unison. The response was immediate. Energy beams from the archive stations enveloped both ships. But instead of weapons fire, these beams carried complex genetic and technological information directly into their ship's computers and, somehow, into their bodies themselves. The process was unlike anything either species had experienced. Every crew member felt their bodies changing, adapting, becoming something more than they had been. Human environmental suits merged with their wearers, becoming a second skin capable of impossible transformations. Iconian metallic skin became programmable matter, able to generate tools and weapons at will. As the changes swept through both crews, Maya. Ancient revelations. The mysterious energy signature from the precursor ship pulsed through both vessels, temporarily disabling their primary systems. Captain Elena Reyes felt a strange tingling sensation as the ancient vessel's scan penetrated the Horizon Dawn's hull, analyzing every molecule of their existence. Multiple energy signatures detected, Maya reported, her fingers dancing across the backup controls. They're rewriting our ship's database. Commander Crix's image flickered on the view screen, their metallic features contorted with concern. "Captain Reyes, are you experiencing this? Our systems are being flooded with data we can't comprehend." Before Elena could respond, a new presence materialized on both bridges, a holographic figure composed of shifting geometric patterns. Its voice resonated directly in their minds, bypassing traditional communication systems. "You have been found worthy of the first trial," the entity announced. "Now, receive the knowledge of your true heritage." The databases of both ships suddenly filled with information, star charts, technical specifications, and most importantly, historical records that predated both their civilizations. The data painted a picture that shook the foundations of everything they believed. Long ago, when the galaxy was young, the precursors had foreseen a threat coming from beyond the galactic rim, something so alien and powerful that it could destroy all known life. In preparation, they had seeded various worlds with specially engineered life forms, designed to evolve into species capable of fighting this threat. "Your worlds were not accidents," the entity continued. "Earth and Iconus Prime were carefully chosen, forges designed to create warriors through natural selection." Elena exchanged glances with Crix, both leaders struggling to process this revelation. Their species' legendary resilience wasn't just convergent evolution, it was engineered destiny. "Commander Vex," Crix barked, addressing their science officer, "analyze these technical specifications. Confirm their authenticity." On the Horizon Dawn, Maya was already deep in the data, her eyes wide with amazement. "Captain, these designs, they're showing us technology that makes our most advanced systems look primitive. But more than that, they're showing us what we could become." The holographic entity gestured, and new images appeared before them, representations of humans and Iconians transformed by the full activation of their engineered potential. Humans with enhanced adaptability beyond anything they thought possible, Iconians whose metallic skin could reshape itself into any form needed. "The time has come for your ascension," the entity declared. "But first, you must prove yourselves worthy. The second trial awaits." Space itself seemed to fold around their ships, reality twisting in ways that defied physics. When it stabilized, they found themselves in an entirely different star system, one where a massive space station of clearly precursor design orbited a dying star. "This facility holds the key to unlocking your species' true potential," the entity explained. "But it is not undefended. The Guardians will test your ability to work together, to combine your strengths in ways your creators envisioned." As if on cue, the station's defense systems activated. Swarms of autonomous drones emerged, their design unlike anything either species had encountered. They moved with impossible precision, their weapons capable of adapting to any defense. "Battle stations," Elena ordered, her tactical training kicking in. "Maya, coordinate with the Stellar Aegis. We need to combine our defense systems." Commander Crix was already issuing similar orders. The two ships, so recently uncertain allies, found themselves fighting side by side against the station's guardians. The Horizon Dawn's advanced targeting systems complemented the Stellar Aegis's powerful weapons, while their combined shields created defensive patterns that confused the attacking drones. But the real test came when the station itself began to transform. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, spawning new structures and weapon systems that targeted the specific weaknesses of both species' technologies. They're not just testing our ships, Maya realized, analyzing the attack patterns. They're testing our ability to adapt, to overcome our limitations. Elena nodded grimly. Then let's show them what Deathworlders can do. Commander Crix, I have a proposal. It's risky, but it might be our only chance. The plan was audacious, using the Horizon Dawn's superior maneuverability to draw the station's fire while the Stellar Aegis positioned itself for a precise strike at a weak point Maya had identified in the station's energy grid. It required perfect timing and absolute trust between the two crews. As they executed the plan, Elena couldn't help but marvel at how quickly their species had gone from first contact to fighting as one. Perhaps this was what the precursors had intended, their shared heritage as Deathworlders creating a natural bond that transcended their differences. The station's defenses proved fierce, but the combined might of human ingenuity and Iconian power gradually gained the upper hand. Just as they were about to strike the final blow, all weapons suddenly powered down. The holographic entity reappeared, its geometric patterns shifting in what might have been approval. The second trial is complete, it announced. You have demonstrated the potential your creators saw when they chose your worlds. Now, prepare yourselves for the final test, one that will determine if you are truly ready to face the coming darkness. As the entity spoke, the station began to transform once more, its structure opening like a massive flower to reveal something within, something that would change both their species forever. To be continued in Part 3. The dying star cast an eerie light over the scene, its unstable radiation a reminder of the harsh conditions both species had evolved to survive. Whatever lay within the station's opening core, Elena and Crix knew their decision here would impact not just their own peoples, but potentially the fate of the entire galaxy. Maya's sensors detected massive energy readings emanating from the station's core. Captain, these readings, they're similar to the genetic markers in our own DNA, but amplified beyond anything we thought possible. Commander Crix's voice carried a mix of awe and concern. The legends of our people speak of a time when we would transcend our current forms. Perhaps this is what they meant. The holographic entity's patterns shifted again, forming into something almost comprehensible. The final trial approaches. Are you prepared to embrace your true heritage? Elena looked at her crew, then at the image of Commander Crix on her view screen. Both leaders understood that whatever came next would redefine what it meant to be human or Iconian. The station's core continued to open, revealing the next chapter in their species' shared destiny. Evolution's Edge. The station's core pulsed with energy that defied conventional physics, bathing both ships in waves of quantum radiation that their sensors struggled to comprehend. Within the open structure, a chamber of impossible geometry revealed itself, a space where the laws of reality seemed more like suggestions than rules. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Maya reported, her voice tight with concentration. The energy patterns, they're resonating with our genetic structure. Commander Crix's metallic skin rippled with an emotion Elena was beginning to recognize as intense interest. Our scientists are detecting the same phenomenon. These frequencies match dormant sections of both our species' DNA. The holographic entity materialized again, its geometric patterns more complex than before. What you see before you is the crucible of ascension, the tool your creators left to complete your evolution when the time was right. As if in response to these words, the chamber began to change. Its walls became transparent, revealing machinery that seemed to operate on principles beyond current scientific understanding. Within, strands of energy wove patterns that mimicked the double helix of DNA, but with impossible additional dimensions. Your species were designed with limitless potential, the entity continued. But that potential was locked away, waiting for you to prove yourselves worthy of its power. Now, you must make a choice. The choice became clear as the chamber's purpose revealed itself. It was a transformation engine, designed to activate the dormant genetic potential within both species. But the process would be irreversible, forever changing what it meant to be human or Iconian. The threat from beyond the rim approaches, the entity warned. Your creators foresaw this moment, when their chosen defenders would need to transcend their current limitations to face what comes. Elena and Crix shared a look through their video link, both leaders understanding the weight of the decision before them. What exactly would this transformation entail? Elena asked, her tactical mind already analyzing potential outcomes. The entity gestured, and holographic displays appeared on both ships, showing simulations of the changes. Humans would gain the ability to consciously control their cellular structure, adapting to any environment instantly. Iconians would see their metallic skin evolve into a form of programmable matter, capable of forming any tool or weapon they could imagine. But there's more, Maya interrupted, studying the data streams. These changes, they would affect our neural architecture as well. We'd be able to process information faster, communicate more efficiently. Interfaced directly with technology, Vex added from the Stellar Aegis, their voice carrying a note of wonder. Our bodies would become conduits for abilities our ancestors could only dream of. The entity nodded, its form shifting. The transformation would affect not just your bodies, but your consciousness itself. You would remain who you are, but with expanded awareness of the universe and your place within it. Before either leader could respond, their ship's sensors detected a new phenomenon. At the edge of the system, space itself began to tear, revealing something that shouldn't exist, a glimpse of what lay beyond the galaxy's rim. The sight defied description. It was as if reality itself was being unmade, replaced by something alien and hostile to life as they knew it. Both crews felt an instinctive revulsion, their engineered nature recognizing an ancient enemy. They come, the entity stated simply. The void between galaxies stirs with their movement. What you see is merely an echo of their approach, yet it is enough to demonstrate the scale of the threat. The tear in space closed, but its impact remained. Both crews had seen what awaited them, what their creators had prepared them to face. The question was no longer whether to accept transformation, but how to prepare their respective species for what it would mean. If we do this, Crix said, their voice thoughtful, our peoples will need guidance. The change cannot be forced upon them. Metamorphosis. The transformation was unlike anything either species had experienced. Energy from the crucible of ascension flowed through both ships, reshaping crew members at the molecular level. Elena felt her consciousness expand, her perception of reality shifting as new neural pathways formed in her transformed brain. Status report, she managed, her voice carrying new harmonics that seemed to resonate with the ship itself. Maya's response came not through conventional communication but as a direct neural transmission. Her transformed body glowed with internal energy, her skin now a shifting matrix of adaptive cells. All crew members successfully transformed, Captain. The changes, they're beyond anything we could have imagined. On the Stellar Aegis, Commander Crix had undergone an equally dramatic transformation. Their metallic skin had evolved into living programmable matter, capable of forming complex structures at will. The entire Iconian crew had gained similar abilities, their bodies now existing in a state between organic and synthetic. The merger is complete, the precursor entity announced, its form now fully comprehensible to their enhanced minds. You have become what your creators envisioned, beings capable of facing the void. But before either crew could fully process their changes, the station's warning systems activated. The dying star's radiation had reached critical levels, threatening to destroy the crucible and everything within range. Multiple stellar anomalies detected, Maya reported, her enhanced senses processing data faster than any computer. The star is collapsing. Elena felt her transformed body responding instinctively to the threat. Her skin hardened against the increasing radiation while her mind reached out to interface directly with the Horizon Dawn systems. Around her, her crew was doing the same, becoming one with their ship in ways that would have been impossible before. Commander Crix's voice resonated through their neural link. "Captain Reyes, our enhanced sensors are detecting something else. The star's collapse, it's not natural." They were right. Through their expanded perception, both crews could see patterns in the stellar destruction, evidence of deliberate manipulation at the quantum level. "A test," the entity confirmed. "Your first challenge as ascended beings. Save the Crucible, or its knowledge will be lost to those who follow." Understanding flowed between the transformed crews. The Crucible contained more than just the means of transformation, it held the complete genetic library of both their species, plus information about the threat they were meant to face. Its loss would cripple their ability to prepare others for what was coming. "Commander," Elena transmitted, sharing her tactical analysis through the neural link, "if we combine our ship's capabilities with our new abilities, we could stabilize the star," Crix finished, their thoughts aligning perfectly. "But it would require perfect synchronization between our crews." There was no time for doubt. Both ships moved into position, their transformed crews working in perfect harmony. The Horizon Dawn's advanced technology merged with the Stellar Aegis's raw power, guided by the enhanced intellects of their crews. Elena felt her consciousness merge with the ship's systems, her transformed biology allowing her to process and control energy in ways that defied conventional physics. Around her, her crew did the same, their combined consciousness forming a gestalt entity capable of manipulating reality itself. On the Stellar Aegis, Crix led their crew in a similar merge, their programmable bodies extending their influence beyond their ship's hull. The two crews, already linked by their shared heritage and transformation, became something greater than the sum of their parts. Together, they reached into the dying star's core. Their enhanced understanding of quantum mechanics allowed them to see the artificial instabilities that had been introduced, and how to counter them. Working with precision that would have been impossible before their transformation, they began to stabilize the stellar mass. "Remarkable," the entity observed. "You've already learned to use abilities that took your creators centuries to master." But the task was far from complete. As they worked to save the star, both crews detected new complications. The artificial instabilities were adapting, changing in response to their efforts. Whatever had caused this was intelligent, learning from their attempts to counter it. "It's like the star itself is fighting back," Maya transmitted, her enhanced mind analyzing patterns too complex for ordinary consciousness to comprehend. "No, not the star. Something within it." She was right. Deep within the stellar core, something ancient stirred, a guardian system left by the precursors, designed to test those who achieved ascension. It manifested as quantum-level changes in reality itself, challenging their new abilities to their limit. Elena and Crix coordinated their efforts, guiding their merged crews through increasingly complex manipulations of spacetime. Their transformed bodies allowed them to withstand conditions that would have instantly destroyed their former selves, while their enhanced minds processed solutions to problems that should have been impossible. "We're not just fighting the star's collapse," Crix realized, sharing their insight through the neural link. "We're being taught how to use our new abilities. The Guardian system, it's training us." The entity's form shifted in what might have been approval. "The threat you must face exists partially outside normal spacetime. You must learn to fight on multiple levels of reality simultaneously." Hours passed as the transformed crews worked to stabilize the star while adapting to their new capabilities. They learned to shift their consciousness between multiple dimensions, to manipulate quantum fields with thought alone, to extend their influence across vast distances through spacetime itself. Finally, the star's core stabilized. The Guardian system, satisfied with their performance, withdrew its influence. The Crucible was saved, and both crews had gained practical experience with abilities they would need in the coming conflict. But as their ships withdrew to a safe distance, their enhanced senses detected something troubling. The barrier between normal space and the void beyond the galaxy's rim had grown thinner. Their activities had drawn attention from something that existed in that impossible realm. "They know," the entity stated simply. "Your ascension has been noticed. The time of preparation is over. Now, you must race to transform and train enough of your people before the barrier fails completely." Elena and Crix shared a moment of perfect understanding through their neural link. Their transformation had given them the tools they needed, but it had also started a countdown. The void was stirring, and the galaxy's Deathworlders would need to be ready when it finally broke through. Destiny's Call. The journey back to known space gave both transformed crews time to master their new abilities. Elena watched as her crew members learned to consciously control their adaptive biology, while reports from the Stellar Aegis showed the Iconians developing increasingly sophisticated applications of their programmable bodies. Neural link established with Earth Command, Maya announced, her transformed consciousness easily breaking through the usual limitations of faster-than-light communication. "They're having difficulty processing our sensor data." Elena understood why. The changes they'd undergone defied conventional science. Even their ships had been altered by proximity to the transformation energy, their systems partially merged with their transformed crews. Similar response from Iconian High Command, Crix transmitted through their neural link. "Our transformation challenges everything they believe about our species' destiny." The entity, which had accompanied them from the Crucible, manifested simultaneously on both ships. "Your leaders must understand quickly. The void stirs more strongly with each passing moment." As if to emphasize this point, their enhanced senses detected new disturbances in the fabric of spacetime. The barrier between normal space and what lay beyond was growing dangerously thin in multiple locations. "Multiple quantum anomalies detected," Maya reported, her consciousness extending through the ship's sensors. "The pattern matches what we observed at the Crucible, but on a larger scale." Elena shared a moment of perfect understanding with Crix through their neural link. Their species had been designed for this moment, evolved through countless generations to face this threat. Now, they needed to prepare their civilizations for changes that would reshape the galaxy itself. The Horizon Dawn and Stellar Aegis emerged from faster-than-light travel in neutral space between their territories. A joint delegation from both governments waited nearby, a hastily assembled group of scientists, military leaders, and political representatives. "Remember," the entity cautioned, "your transformation was just the beginning. Your species must evolve together, or all will be lost." Elena and Crix coordinated their approach. Through their neural link, they shared memories of their experiences, the trials they'd faced, the changes they'd undergone, and most importantly, the threat they'd glimpsed beyond the galaxy's edge. The delegation's ships scanned them continuously, their sensors struggling to comprehend what the crews had become. The transformed humans and Iconians were now something beyond their original species, living proof of what their peoples could achieve together. "Attention delegation vessels," Elena and Crix transmitted simultaneously, their merged consciousness adding weight to their words. "We bring knowledge vital to our species' survival." Through their enhanced abilities, they shared carefully filtered versions of their experiences. They showed the delegates the Crucible, demonstrated their new capabilities, and revealed glimpses of the void entities that threatened all life in the galaxy. "This is impossible," one of the human delegates transmitted. "These changes violate every law of physics we know." "The laws you know are incomplete," the entity responded, manifesting its form for all to see. "Your species were designed to transcend them." The delegation ships reacted with a mix of fear and fascination. But before they could respond, space itself trembled. Multiple tiers appeared in reality, larger and more stable than what they'd seen before. Through these tiers, they all caught glimpses of what awaited them, entities that existed in dimensions beyond normal spacetime, beings whose very nature threatened to unravel the fabric of their universe. "The barrier weakens faster than predicted," the entity announced. "You must prepare your people. The transformation cannot be forced, but it must be offered to all who would accept it." Elena felt a surge of determination flow through her transformed consciousness. She shared a look with Crix, their neural link conveying volumes of understanding in an instant. "We propose an immediate alliance," they announced together. "Our species must unite, combining our strengths as we face this threat." The delegates, shaken by what they'd witnessed, found it difficult to argue. The evidence before them was undeniable. Humanity and the Iconians had been designed to work together, their strengths complementing each other in ways that now seemed obvious. "The crucible stands ready," the entity added. "Those who choose transformation will gain abilities beyond their imagination. But more importantly, they will gain the understanding needed to face what comes." As if in response to these words, the tiers in space began to pulse with impossible energy. The void entities were testing the barrier, probing for weaknesses. Their enhanced senses could detect similar disturbances throughout the galaxy, places where reality itself was growing thin. "We don't have much time," Elena transmitted to the delegates. "Every moment we delay gives our enemy another chance to break through." The delegation ships huddled in conference, their crews trying to process everything they'd learned. Finally, they emerged with a response that would change the course of galactic history. "We accept the alliance," they announced. "And we accept the need for transformation. How do we begin?" Elena and Crix shared a moment of relief through their neural link. It was just the beginning. They would need to convince countless others, prepare their species for changes that would challenge their very identity. But it was a start. First, they responded together, "We show you what your people can become." The transformed crews of both ships extended their consciousness, sharing carefully controlled demonstrations of their new abilities. They showed how human adaptability and Iconian strength could merge into something greater than either alone. The entity's form shifted in approval. "The time of separation is ending. Your species will face the void as one, or not at all." As the delegation ships prepared to escort them back to their respective territories, Elena and Crix knew their work was just beginning. They had to prepare their people for transformation, establish protocols for the alliance, and begin training those who would face the void entities. But they had taken the first step. Their species, designed eons ago to be the galaxy's defenders, were finally ready to fulfill their destiny. "The barrier will not hold forever," the entity reminded them. "But together, you have a chance to save not just your own peoples, but all life in the galaxy." Elena looked out at the stars, her enhanced perception showing her the quantum strings that bound reality together. Somewhere beyond those stars, in dimensions they were only beginning to understand, their enemy waited. But they were ready. Deathworlders united, transformed, and prepared to defend everything they held dear. The void entities would find that the galaxy's defenders had finally awakened. And they would not stand alone. The end.